It's been a little while. Hello, welcome back. We're going to draw some pictures. So, I haven't forgotten how to draw pictures. It's been a little while. My son, he is 6 years old and he is just learning how to uh, talk, baby talk. And it's just a lot more noisy around the house lately. So trying to record. He's sleeping right now. Uh, so I gotta kind of keep it down. I hope you can still hear me. We're gonna draw a picture and just make some little sketches. So please join me. Grab your pencil, grab your iPad, grab your Wacom, whatever you're drawing with, and let's make a picture. I've got a bunch of reference here. Let's just choose something at random. What is good? What is good? Oh man, have you guys seen this movie? This is a Studio Ghibli movie. Nausicaa, I believe, is what this is based off of. And this seems like a fun thing to draw. I'm just gonna use one of the default brushes in Procreate today. These are made by Kyle Webster, and he does such a good job with his brushes. This is in the pencils category, and I really like the Huntsman is a good one. Just look at that texture. That's really nice, and you can get some really good shading going on here. So let's just use a default brush. We're not going to make it complicated. I think just going with black and yeah, we're just gonna sketch a little bit. Um, Let me see where to start. Let's do, I might do a little, let me do a little thumbnail up here first, just to get an idea of things. Um, this is such a unique costume. I'm not gonna get super detailed with this little thumbnail. I just want to block in the shapes and maybe do, yeah, I think I'm already getting too detailed. Just want to block this in. And it looks like they have kind of a foot going this way and this foot coming out. Feet are such interesting shapes. Um, I can talk about that for a little bit. It's taken me a while to really get comfortable drawing the shapes of like shoes and feet. Um, yeah, let me block this little thing in here. Okay. Yeah, that might work. Let's just do that as a little thumbnail. Yeah, so feet. Hmm. We're not going to do like toes, but if you break it into a shape, um, that's kind of like the basic shape, right? But then, of course, you have the foot coming down, and somehow it attaches to, you've got the leg coming down and it attaches to the foot. So you have kind of like this, but that's only if it's a perfect side view, which most of the time feet are not. Um, it's been helpful for me to think about, uh, use this basic shape, the little triangle shape. And I think about like two main points of contact where you have like the ball of the foot here in the back, and then you have like uh it's before the toes. So let's say the toes are here, that little the ball of your foot here, and then you kind of connect these, right? So if this is the big toe here, I think I'm missing a toe, but I think you get the idea, right? So that's kind of the foot. And if I'm drawing like a shorthand version of that, I've got the leg coming down, the foot coming here, the ball of the foot, and then the heel, right? And then you can just kind of put the toes there, right? And drawing a foot straight on, of course, you have the ankles. It's rare that you're going to see the foot drawn straight on. It's usually coming at some kind of an angle. Um, so, yeah, getting that shape of the ball of the foot and the heel. mm, and funny little toes. Anyway, we're getting distracted, but that's how I think about feet with like these 2 points of contact, the heel of the foot, which is in the back obviously, and then the ball of the foot, and then just attaching the toes. And if in your mind, if you can turn those things around and see them from different angles, um, for me, that's helpful to simplify it into just those two major points of contact and then connecting them with like this basic triangle shape. Um, Sometimes like a rectangle, right? The ankle, the ball of the foot is back there, but it's covered up, and here's the big toe. Anyway, yeah, yeah. There we go. All right, let's draw a little bit of this. Already 8 minutes. We're talking about drawing feet, and that's helpful. Feet and hands, man. Feet and hands next to the face. Those are like tricky things to draw. Um, the face is just so. We're not going to get into that in this video. That's a whole other beast. Anyway, we're just going to have some fun and draw this little guy, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. If you have not seen this, I recommend it. It's kind of the thing about Studio Ghibli movies. I really enjoy them. I was introduced to I think it was Princess Mononoke was the first one that I ever saw. And that was when I was attending college. And that movie is so gorgeous. I think it's still, man, it's one of my favorites for sure. Um, Studio Ghibli movies are not like the crazy American cartoons. Like they're not trying to capture your attention every 5 seconds. Surprisingly, they're actually trying to tell a story first. their primary purpose is to tell a story, not capture your attention. I think a lot of American, not only kids' cartoons, but even movies now, their first goal is to capture your attention and hold your attention. And if they can squeeze in a story, then, they'll do that. Um, but I think their primary purpose is just to grab your attention and hold it, which I understand. I get it. We all kind of have attention spans of goldfish lately, but I don't think it helps anything. I think it actually makes things worse when you cater to that. But the Ghibli films, they tell this story, and it's such a beautiful story. Princess Mononoke is really, really good. Um, Nausicaa is really very good too, but they're slow moving. So it takes a while to kind of build up. I'm not going to draw all these details on the outfit, at least not at this point. This is just a little sketch. Um, these movies are a slow burn. So it takes a while to get into it because they're building out the characters and they're building out the world. And um, it takes a while to get there. Um, I'm not sure if you can hear the sirens going off in our neighborhood. I think it's just a test, some kind of weather alert system. I don't believe we have any crazy storms coming in today. At least I haven't seen any alerts about that. Anyway, I prefer like it takes a while to kind of build up and get into that story and learn about the characters and how they fit in the world. But man, I think it's so worth it. And honestly, this is a thing that I still struggle with. I jump from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and it's one part of myself that I am not a fan of, and I have to actively work uh, against that part of myself. Let me just, I'm going to move this foot. He's in the way. Yeah, I have to work against that part of myself. So putting in place different systems of, um, I'm going to focus on this task at this time. And watching movies like this calms that part of my brain. I don't need a movie fighting for my attention. I don't want movies fighting for my attention. Actually, my wife and I, we don't have like a big TV setup in our house. And mostly like that happened even before our son was born. We just don't spend a lot of time watching TV. Um, Occasionally, yeah, we'll find something on, Netflix or Amazon or something, but it's rare. And we don't just sit down and binge for hours. We don't have that kind of time. We would much rather spend that time doing other things. So, yeah, I think that's a helpful thing for me is just finding ways to uh, be in charge of my own attention and not have that. dictated to me. Social media is not helpful as far as that goes, but I think that we all know that and we all still kind of use it, um, apart from all the fake stuff that's on there. Dude, like we've known this. I say we, it's not just me and my wife. I think we as a general society, like we know this. Social media is just not real. It's not real. Yeah, your friends and your family, they may be saying different things that you agree with, and you'll see the random post from politicians that you agree with, but listen, listen, that's not real. It's not real. I think it's way more helpful and productive to use our time and energy caring for our families and for our neighbors and spend less time um, upset about the world. There is a lot of junk going on, and I'm not oblivious to it. It's out there and it's gross. It's out there and it's gross, and evil does exist. And honestly, like this has become like this is a little soapbox sketching session. Sorry, it's not as fun as normal, but man, this needs to be said. Listen, listen. I can't keep up with which politicians are good guys and which ones are bad guys because it seems like every day it changes, or every week this politician, he is out there getting the bad guys, and this politician, he is out there, he's one of the bad guys, and like just stop. Mm, just stop. I don't think there is um yeah, like I'm not going to endorse any particular politician, but I'm also not going to jump on this bandwagon of everybody I disagree with is Hitler. Like, that's just not helpful. It's not real and it's not helpful. Okay. It's not real and it's not helpful. Or saving the kids. I think this is a wonderful idea, a great concept. And if I had all of the information about who really was out there saving the kids and who is out there hurting the kids, dude, I would not be sitting here drawing pictures. I would be out there getting the bad guys. I don't have that information. I have a lot of uh, people screaming on social media that this guy's a bad guy and that guy's a bad guy. And it might be true, maybe, but also you can make up any story. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this, and then we'll call this sketch soapbox session done. Years ago, when I started working in the creative industry, I was making art and animation for a mobile game studio. Very small, super tiny. You probably haven't heard of them. That turned out pretty good. Look at that. Anyway, I learned something working for this studio that um, I think is so applicable to all of this. So when you have a mobile game or any product, the goal is to sell that product. And in order to sell the product, you need people to know your product exists. Okay. That's where marketing comes in. And there are different ways to market things. And we're not going to get into all of that. But this is a big part of what I have done for the past 15 plus years is different forms of marketing, website design, brochures, posters, logos, branding, all of that is wrapped up in the umbrella of marketing. Something that, man, it's so true. And I don't have an answer for uh, how to guard against this, but the App Store, whether it's iOS or Android or Apple or Google, like whatever, any app store, if you're trying to sell an app, throwing it out on the App Store without marketing, you're just, there's so much out there. You just become part of the noise. You have to market your app or somehow get on one of those charts, the trending charts, like highest rated or highest grossing or most popular, like one of those charts to make people aware that your app exists, right? One of the ways, and it's a very popular way, you may have seen it if you've been online. There are companies that have rooms full of mobile devices of all kinds, and they're all signed in to different accounts. This is real. And they're usually run by like one or two people, hundreds of devices. They're run by a very small team. You pay these companies, and what they do is they will rate your app. They'll go on the App Store, sign in, download, play your game. They'll rate your app 5 star, 4 star. They'll give some kind of review. They will engage with your content to help. If you pay them enough money and they get enough engagement, they will drive your app to the top of these charts. Maybe not the top, because there are some apps that it would be very difficult to knock them off of the top, but you'll get on the chart, right? So that's what we did with our app. And you can argue, I was not in charge of this, somebody else was in charge of that. There are arguments for and against the ethics of that. I don't believe that it's genuine, right? Which I think is a big deal. But if you don't do it, also, like your app has no chance of succeeding. And I tell you that story because the ideas that you see on social media, like this politician is a really bad guy, he hurts kids. Maybe, maybe. Why is that coming out now? And why is that important now? Or this politician is really good. Look at their policies and they're winning in so many areas. Well, maybe. Why is that coming out now? The what I'm saying is the information we have is so small. And who knows the origin of that content or that idea or that movement? And it's on all sides. I'm not picking on any one side, Republican, Democrat, Independent. It doesn't matter. Oh, thanks for that. Get out of here. It doesn't matter which. camp you belong to. They all do it. They all do it. These grassroots efforts or the independent journalists, what I'm saying is just focus your energy somewhere else because you have no idea where that content or where that idea came from. You just don't know. Maybe if you have invested so much time into researching, which just means you're Googling something. All right, I'm going to get off of my soapbox. Hey, look at this pretty sketch. Isn't that great? Look at that. You should watch more Studio Ghibli movies. I think that's what we've learned here. Listen, it's good to be informed. Uh, just don't get obsessed with it. Just don't get obsessed with it because our perspective is so limited. It's so limited. Do the best that you can with the information that you have. And most importantly, focus your time and energy and love on your family, yourself, your spouse, your kids, and your immediate community. That's where you have the most impact. And go to church. Go to church. God is real. Jesus is real. That's the most important thing. And I'm going to leave you with that. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's been a little while since I've gotten on here and recorded anything, but I enjoy doing this. I just need to find time uh, where my son is quiet for a few minutes. It's great that he's talking. It's the cutest thing ever. I love to hear it. And I love that that noise is filling our house. I love that. Um, it's honestly, it's one of the most beautiful noises. And um, I would get emotional if I kept talking about it because it's just incredible. So, thank you for hanging out today. If you enjoyed this, leave a comment or a like. Subscribing is helpful. Um, I'm not going to pay anybody to like and comment and subscribe. I don't have that kind of money. So having real people do those things actually it does benefit this channel and it does support the work that I do. And if you really want to support me, you can buy something from me, which is great. I've got a pack of Procreate brushes, and I think they're pretty good. I use them a lot, even in my commercial work. So uh, you can also check out jeffdhutt.com, which is my website, and I've got some samples of work that I have done professionally. And I do all kinds of stuff, logos and branding and printing and websites, and also a lot of children's books. So, yeah, let me know how I can help you. I'm sure that there's something that we can figure out. Or if you want to learn more about drawing or illustrating, I'm sure we could figure something out. Uh, but just those simple free things, the liking and commenting and subscribing, that's you can do that in a couple of seconds. And I really appreciate it. So until the next time, go grab a pencil and draw something today. I'll catch you in the next video.